guys, so we have the patch notes for this week. I thought it was gonna be like a dead update, but we ended up getting season 2 of Ranked Arena, and this is the one that has the checkpoints. We have, as well as different attribute types. Every 20 rounds is a different attribute. So there's gonna be a checkpoint every 10 rounds, and this season is divided into 2 3-week off seasons, and then the final 2 weeks, kind of the same as last season, but difference being obviously the checkpoints and the monster attribute types. So obviously the rewards are gonna be the same for the most part, but differences too. I think we're gonna get drops. We'll be able to get drops while we're in there. So that's really good that they're doing that. Not only that, they also brought back Quantumon. So if you guys missed it, or you need a good data, or like, obviously they're probably not gonna come out with another data for a while, because I'm pretty positive the next year rank is gonna be a virus. We're due for a virus. So yeah, they brought back Quantumon. And they've also brought back the costume, the advanced costume. So they're doing a lot of reruns quickly. The sealed memory skills, I wouldn't say they're worth it. Like I mentioned in the past, when they had this, the memory skill Gamba, definitely not worth it. But I would, if you guys need a costume right now, obviously it would be a good time. And the season 2, like I said, season 2 of Ranked Dungeon requires 3 different types every 20 levels. You can check the monsters. If you click on the board, you can see the monsters that are in there, the types and all that, at which rounds. So unfortunately for me, I did it really early as soon as servers went up, and I disconnected on round 23. So that was very unfortunate on what happened, but it's whatever. I never stress out about that. It's whatever. But yeah, guys. So this is the patch notes for this week. They're also doing an event, Digimon Vacation, Introduce Your Digimon. Now, there's a big mistranslation on this. So it says obtain an SS Plus and a U-Rank Digimon box, right? For the winners, for the screenshot winners. Now, if you write your server name, tamer name, and then you obtain Digimon and screenshot. 2 things with this. This is the triple S Plus box. I don't think it's actual Digimon. I think you just get this. So there's a mistranslation, unless I'm misunderstanding. And another thing is, you have to take a screenshot of your, the U Souza that you get from this, or the selection box. If you've already used it, then I guess you're just out of luck, from what my understanding, because you have to take a screenshot of the box itself in your inventory. Maybe you just take a screenshot of it in the selection. I don't know. But this is apparently what you get. These are the rewards. So they're not actual triple S Plus Digimon, and it's not a U rank. It's just these rewards, according to this. So, like I said, a lot of mistranslation going on here for this event. But yeah, you guys can enter it if you still want to get these prizes, for whatever reason. So yeah, guys, so that was the very short patch notes for this week of August. Leave a like if you like the video, and I'm gonna be putting out a video that has all the U-Rank Digimon skills up to date, like skill builds up until Apollomon for you guys. It should be this week. But yeah, I'm gonna have that video out. Just leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help me out a lot, and I appreciate you guys for those that showed up on my stream. It was a really good time, so I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. So I wanted to do Digimon stat requirements for all the dungeons, as there is not really one out there, and I've been testing. I got one ready for you guys. So we're gonna go down the list through all the dungeons, and every 10 levels you'll see the stats get lower, and the HP requirements for each dungeon. My recommendation, that is. This is just my recommendation for HP, and for the most part is correct, just from my experience, because the power scaling is different now these days, as well as the tamer skills you're able to get easily, right, with guard and all that. So you might be able to get away with just a little bit less, but certain dungeons, honestly, I do not recommend it. So here we go. Coliseum Hard at 150, you'll need 14.5k hit rate with 350% crit rate. At level 160, it goes down to 13.5 hit rate and 310% crit rate. At 170, 12.5, and 270% crit. So the theme is it's gonna go down by 40%. Crit rate anyways will go down 40% roughly is the difference between every 10 levels. But what changes drastically is the hit rate as we get to end game. That because of the evasion they give the dungeon bosses, it just increases so much that hit rate, the hit rate required compared to the crit rate is much higher. The difference between levels, I should say. So Royal Base Hard at 150, 11.5 hit rate with 300% crit rate. 160, 10.5 goes down by 1,000 and 260% crit rate. So here, I only left it at 10 because at this point, I feel like it's so easy to get 10k hit, right? At the very least, that it doesn't matter. You'll have it no matter what at this level, right? 200 and 220% crit rate. At 170, HP requirement, or recommendation, I should say, is 70k. There's nothing that really one-shot, unless you're a tank, and then I would recommend 100k. If you're tanking, I'm gonna always recommend 100,000 because he hits pretty hard. If you're, obviously, everything is just power crept to hell, that it doesn't matter. But obviously, if you're running with friends that are on your level that are low levels, then yeah, I recommend 70k. And unless you're tanking or have someone with Tree of Life to get you to that Tree of Life or encouragement. And for SDG, 14k at 150 and 350% crit rate. Going to 160 goes down to 13k hit rate and 310% crit rate. Sorry, 13k hit rate. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like 170 goes down to 12k hit rate and 270% crit rate with an HP recommendation of 80,000. Moving on to MDG, 20k hit rate at 150 and 400% crit rate is what you're gonna need. See, as you can see, as you get to like the mid-game stage of the game, the stats required start to climb drastically. You go from 14 so it's already a 6k hit rate difference there, right? So at 160, it goes down by 2k, 18k hit rate, and 360% crit rate requirement at 160. 170 goes down by another 2k, 16k hit rate, and 320% crit rate with the HP recommendation of 120k. Gulu CZ, now here again, it starts jumping again. Gulu CZ is just one of those things that, you know, it needs absurd amount of hit and crit. So at this point, I think around MDG point, I would recommend if you guys just, you know, are newer accounts or even lower mid-end accounts, just go full skill build. You don't have to worry about any of this. This is more if you are, you know, more like interested or curious of what kind of stats requirements. The only dungeon you're gonna need to really worry about the requirements for is the endgame dungeon Belial, the current endgame dungeon Belial, Arukenimon, because that's the one that you just can't avoid. You cannot avoid. You're gonna need to full hit. Not really crit, but you're gonna need to full hit. So Gulu CZ at 150, 22k hit rate, 400% crit rate. At 160, goes down 2k, goes down by 2k at 20k hit rate, 360% crit rate. And at 170, 18k hit rate and 320% crit rate with an HP recommendation of 100,000. Now, Gulu's normal is when you really start to see it like just jump up, right? At 150, to be fair, you can't even go in at 150, right? But, you know, some people, example, you have Ordinmon or Ox at 160, and you got a U rank that's at 150. So you can go in with the level 160 and then switch. So again, this is why I'm going to have it regardless for you guys, if you guys were interested or curious. So 29,000 hit rate and 500% crit rate for Gulu's normal at 150. At 160, it goes down by 1k, 28k. It still requires 28k hit rate and 460% crit rate. At 170, it goes down another 1,000. Goes down to 27,000 hit rate and 400% crit rate. And the HP recommendation, like, you cannot skip this unless you are really good with your guard or you time your guards correctly and such. But 130k is the recommended HP for this because he does, I think he stabs you for like 110k. He does like a guaranteed hit for like 110k around there. Chimera Easy at 150, 20k, 450% crit rate. At 160, 19,000, 410% crit rate. And at level 170, 18k with 370% crit rate. HP recommendation, 100,000. Now, Chimera normal is when you reach the upper mid game. as you can see, the stat requirements just get absurd. Here, this is where I would consider it upper mid game. Upper mid game, you're scratching the surface at end game, which is going to be Eos and Belel, but like this is the upper mid game right here. Chimera Normal and Armageddon. So 35,000 hit rate with 630% crit rate. Now, Chimera Normal and Armageddon have some very similar stats. They have a lot of things in common. The stat requirements, and you're able to goat both of them. People tend to goat Chimera Normal and Armageddon, right? That's just the way those dungeons are able to be done. So they have very similar stat requirements. So Chimera Normal at 160 goes down by it's still 31,000 hit rate with 590% crit rate for full hit crit on him. At 170, look at this, you still need 27k with 550% crit rate and an HP recommendation of 180,000 to survive his big AoE nuke. Assuming you have kind of a weaker account and or still have your Yoli set, right? Once you get Frontier and all that, I mean, I feel like you shouldn't risk it. You still should have that much HP, but you can get away with a lot more when you have Frontier set and Amico and Guard and such. Armageddon, again, same thing. All right, so I'm not gonna go over that. It's literally the same thing as Chimera Normal with the same HP recommendation. Now, endgame. This is where the very first endgame dungeon starts, up until we get new ones in a month or so. Eos, at 150, you're gonna need 38,000 hit rate and 700% crit rate to full hit crit at 150. At 160, 34,000 and 640% crit rate. 170, 30k hit rate and 600% crit rate with an HP recommendation of 220k. If you're a tank, you're fine. I mean, I've tanked it with less, but it's, obviously my account's a little stronger, right? So I'd recommend 220. And if you're gonna tank, try to get as much as you can if it's your first time tanking, just to give you a lot more breathing room. She hits like a truck. Now here's the one that you just cannot avoid needing hit rate for. Belial himself, right? There's two things. Belial himself at 150, which why you should not be trying it at 150. 48.5k hit rate with 740% crit rate recommendation requirement, I should say, at 140. At 160, it still is 44.5k hit rate with 700% crit rate. And at 170, to full hit crit, Belial at 170, you'll need 40.5k hit rate and 660% crit rate with an HP recommendation of 240, right? You're gonna need that. That's if you do not have Frontier set, you're gonna need that much. If you have Frontier set, you can get away with having, I wanna say 180k. 180k if you have Frontier set, the 4-piece. But Yoli set, I mean, it's just, you're gonna need that much. You're gonna need that much for fuel. Now, for Arukeni, her stats are very similar to Eos. She's slightly higher evasion, might be the same, but you're gonna need the same exact stats as Eos, as you can see. Now, this is just to fully hit crit, like I'm talking 100%. So you can get away with maybe having 1,000 less in these requirements, and you'll still hit. But granted, you're gonna miss. But if it's just difficult for you to get, like the 30.5, you can get away with 29, right? I've seen people do it. It's just not recommended, and it's you'll miss for sure. So just know that this is what's needed to fully hit Arukeni. You don't really need to worry about critting her because she's very squishy, but you just need to be able to hit her to defeat her and get the item so you can take off your silence. That's why the only U rank, if you watch I'm gonna put out a video, but the only U rank that really cheese it is Alphamon, but he's not really strong enough to beat Belial unless you have a really strong account. So it doesn't matter, but he U ranks like Alphamon can cheese it because he can still use his F4 on Arukeni while he's silenced, right? So it doesn't matter how much hit rate you have, you can just do, I think 2 of them, it gets her down. So yeah, so that is my stat requirement for all the dungeons currently in the game, or at least starting at Coliseum Hard, I should say. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already, please. It does help me out and motivate me to keep putting out content for you guys and help out newer players as well in this game. And so I should be finishing 007 soon. I'm gonna be seeing what other games I'm gonna be uploading to my channel. I'm gonna keep up with DMO. I'm gonna try to do more guides for you guys. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this one, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Take care, guys.